Where do you stand as Nepal continues to burn? There is a churn happening. The polity at this time is pretty unpredictable. The youth will, take a call as to who gets to run Nepal for the next few years. And why I say next few years, Pathikrit, because I think it has become a country which has become prone to this instability, and yet the root cause of this instability has not been addressed.
So, Vineet, we had in India some governments which have been extremely corrupt. There was in Bihar the Jungle Raj, but people formed political parties. They were resilient. They fought elections. They removed that political entity and for a betterment. The same with the democratic process in case of UPA being, ousted from power in 2014. So I think the problem is, making it fashionable that it's a Gen Z which has done it as if it's a great thing that has happened. It took just two days for somebody, as General Katoch mentioned, to pull the strings to make people of Nepal destroy their own institutions. It just took 2 days. And that is how dangerous it has become. I was in one of the shows where I asked some of these Nepali representatives of the Gen Z protest that you want to make a new country, you want to make it better. Where would your new people sit? Because you've already burned down the parliament. So even for bringing basic, restoring the basic of normalcy in Nepal, it would cost hundreds of crores of rupees, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars. And somebody is going to pay Nepal to get it done. Now, whoever pays it to Nepal or those who actually got it done. I mean, I came to know that US aid had almost spent $700 million in Nepal. Where has that money gone since 2015? What infrastructure US aid made in Nepal? So whoever had given money for all of this, they would ask for their pound of flesh. And we have a problem. The predicament for India is, I'm telling you, people of Nepal are our civilizational cultural brothers. But look at the Siliguri corridor. On both sides, we have unelected governments right now, in Bangladesh and in Nepal. So what happens if tomorrow the Americans say that we want to set up a small base in Nepal? And it's again so fashionable to say that Gen Z has done it. I am sorry, but I do not subscribe to that at all. Because in Bangladesh, what has happened today, if you look at the condition of Bangladesh 1 year down the line, their factories are closed. They have put up 21 to 25 young students of universities as if they are the torch bearers with no clue about public policy, foreign policy, administration. Ask anybody in Bangladesh today as to whether they are better off today or what they were before 2024 situation. So I think we wish Nepal good. We wish them improve, but it is going to be a very, very turmoil-based journey in the next, say, few months at least. And I'm sorry to say this, but I think there are elements. I tweeted this and it went viral in Nepal as well. I stated that it is extremely important right now for both people of Nepal and India to restrain, because there will be bots who would be used to make anti-India statements as if they are coming from Nepal, and vice versa, so that animosity between these two countries grow. So you had a Pakistan situation, and somebody is working to create anti-India sentiments both in Bangladesh and Nepal. And this is going to be as if like a pincer situation for India, because what you see in Nepal right now has been tried in India for the last 5 years. And when we look back and when we see that during the anti-CA protest or the anti-farm law protest, government of India showed absolute restraint and did not shoot when what happened on the 26th of January 2021, when people went to the Red Fort and took off the Indian flag. Sometimes that time there was a lot of criticism. But imagine, perhaps that day the plan was for those who were orchestrating it, that similar way the law enforcement agencies will shoot people, and then the entire thing what happened in Nepal would be instigated in India. So the maturity shown by government of India to deal with that situation is highly appreciable. And I think somewhere, yes, it is very, very clear that certain elements have been playing the role. Here onwards for us, security in the entire, so imagine your hundreds of kilometers long open border that India has with Nepal. Imagine tomorrow the Americans think about setting up a base as they are talking about doing it in Bangladesh. Look at the strategic vulnerability we face. We have no threat from the people of Nepal per se. But I'm saying that certain elements, because these Gen Z people, if they come into government, their understanding of larger things is very, very limited. So what happens? You would see exodus also happening. The jobs will dry down. Imagine that Hilton Hotel. Imagine the number of people who used to work over there. Where will they go from henceforward? So you would see exodus, you would see lawlessness, and that is where the conversion mafia steps in. That is where radicalization starts. You see a cut-paste thing of what happened in Syria. I'll give you the example of Syria to say what is the most scary situation. In Syria, everything started from the universities. They were told to protest in the name of democracy. They went ahead. Syria is not, was a dictatorial country. The army shot back at the protesters. Suddenly, the protesters from the students' community had guns in hand. Somebody supplied them the guns. And somebody formed the Free Syrian Army for them to fight against the army. And that protest took the shape of a movement. The movement took the shape of a civil unrest. The civil unrest took the shape of an anarchy. The anarchy took the shape of civil war, because a lot of outsiders then came to fight on behalf of Free Syrian Army against the Syrian government. The Americans came in, the Russians came in, pro-Bashar al-Assad, anti-Bashar al-Assad, ISIS came in, Obama dropped during the Arab Spring, weapons of hundreds of millions of dollars went into, Al-Nusra got that, Al-Nusra merged with ISIS, and the country, if the people who protested that time, if they turn back and look at what has happened to Syria, it is a destroyed country. The same is the story with Libya, the same is the story with Iraq, and many other countries of Middle East where Arab Spring was orchestrated, instigated from abroad through social media. So what happened, I'm sorry, but I've seen so many people are trying to say it, oh, that's a great thing, it's fashionable. But it has dangerous ramifications. There is a precedence of what has happened in Ukraine. In 2014, Viktor Yanukovych's government was ousted. It was John McCain and, Victoria Nuland standing in the US embassy taking photographs of Orange Revolution. Look at the outcome of what has happened to Ukraine today from what it started in 2014 by ousting an elected government. And I fear what Asim Munir said, that next time the attacks will come from the east side. So the Pakistanis know it well that if tomorrow there is another attack from Pakistan into India, we will bomb Pakistan. They'll say, okay, we'll do it through Nepal, via Nepal. We'll do it via Bangladesh. And what happens then? So I repeat, our enemy are not the people of Bangladesh or Nepal. But as situations stand over there, those who help them to create this situation might ask for their pound of flesh. The kind of infiltration that you see in Nepal today by Western elements, even the Pakistanis, radical Islamist organizations, missionaries, situation is scary. My only concern right now is what happens to the Siliguri corridor. My concern is, should we not think about fencing the Indo-Nepal border? Because, good fencing creates good friends. So we have great cultural, civilizational relationship, and we have a roti-beti rishta. But to maintain that, sometimes, right now it is important to understand that there are challenges on both the sides.
All right.